Hello everyone and welcome to Zelda Month. From November to the end of December, I plan on making videos on one of my favorite video game franchises ever, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is part 1 of a 5-part series I plan on spanning out throughout the month of November and December about Legend of Zelda. This is part 1, covering my favorite character in the series, Ganondorf. There'll be a part 2 about Link, a part 3 about Zelda, a part 4 about the different gods and where the Triforce comes from, and finally, an ending part about the overall timeline of the Legend of Zelda universe. Of course, this is part 1 of the series, and I'll be talking about the Dark Wizard Ganondorf. Also, before the video starts, huge thanks to the Legend of Zelda wiki. I'll be reading it off from there, so go give it a look, and I'll leave a link in the description. Give the people who compiled all this information some attention that they deserve. Alright then, let's get right into the video. So Ganon, also known as Ganondorf in his human form, is the main antagonist of the Legend of Zelda series. Ganon is a nickname for Ganondorf, and the name given to him when he transformed into this boar-like thing. If you play Smash Brothers, you know what I'm talking about. It's Final Smash. He made his first debut in the first ever Legend of Zelda game, which is just called The Legend of Zelda, and he's since been presented or referred to as Ganon in his iterations throughout the years. Introduced in The Legend of Zelda, like I said before, he's a monstrous prince of darkness. Ganon's character hasn't really been developed, per se, because he's supposed to be funny warlock man who doesn't use magic and uses funny sword, and is also pure evil. He is the manifestation of the Demon King Debise's hatred for the goddesses and the chosen hero, which is different incarnations of Link. We'll get to that in another part. And it's technically implied by the Hyrule Historia that he is Demise's reincarnation and not a chosen one, unlike like Link or Zelda Zelda. He's not a chosen one. He's quite literally the reincarnation of him, so that's pretty interesting. The whole drive of Ganon is to, well, cover Hyrule in darkness, and he will always reincarnate, no matter what. You may defeat him, doesn't matter. He's always going to come back. He will always exist. He is super immortal, and also super evil, which is why the goddesses keep on reincarnating Link to stop him from getting too evil. Ganon was first given a backstory in A Link to the Past, and it was revealed Ganon wasn't always a funny pig man. He used to be a human in a species called the Gerudo. The problem is that Gerudos are mostly females, and judging by the pictures I've shown so far, you can definitely tell Ganondorf is a dude, a very big dude. We'll get to that later, but just keep that in mind. Back when he was originally just another Gerudo, he was a leader of a group of thieves. With him and his followers, he became the first to enter the Sacred Realm in the ages. He claimed the Triforce of Power and turned the Sacred Realm into a dark world, and him into a vastly powerful being. That's how he got so powerful. Of course, he was trapped in the Sacred Realm after this, and after, the Knights of Hyrule and the cool sage dudes decided to just force him in there and keep him in there, he's kind of just chilling in there. In Ocarina of Time, it's explained that Ganondorf was a Gerudo sorcerer, like I mentioned earlier. And Gerudos kind of don't like Hylians that much. Gerudo's two moms were Kumare and Kotake. I am saying that wrong. The Gerudo are a race of mostly female warriors and thieves, and anytime a male is born every single century, he becomes the King of Gerudo. It is basically a birthright. If you are a male Gerudo, you will instantly become the king. Of course, in another game, a character called Naburo mentions that she's not following Ganondorf because he stole from women and children and killed lots of people. Ganondorf is not a good man. Like, it's kind of obvious considering how he's quite literally the reincarnation of who's supposed to be the Legend in Zelda equivalent of Satan himself. But if you wanted more justification, he's a child murderer. Yay, gotta love Nintendo games. Family friendly. Okay, back on script. Ganondorf uses his position to betray the King of Hyrule and, well, kind of become more powerful. He gains entrance to the Sacred Realm. He's able to get the Triforce. Of course, he doesn't get the full thing, and he's left only with the Triforce of Power, which he can still utilize to take over Hyrule because Ganondorf's an absolute beast, figuratively and literally. But we'll get to that. And yeah, that's that part of Ganon's story. And of course, in my personal favorite game, fight me in the comments down below, The Wind Waker, Ganondorf's character is expanded a bit more. He's given more depth and a clear motive for his villainy besides just funny man reincarnation of Satan, funny man kill. It's kind of implied that he wants to take over Hyrule because he doesn't like how they treat the Gerudo people, and the fact that they force him to live in a dark, harsh desert is kind of not so good, but I'll get to that later. He is reborn in the Four Sword Adventure, which is a game that only few people get to actually play because Nintendo decided to make it a limited release. Oh, man. We don't talk about that. So, yeah, he's reincarnated in the Four Sword Adventures, and he's still a Gerudo, but he's not technically a king of Gerudo. He first becomes the King of Darkness by violating the Gerudo taboo on the pyramid and seeking out the trident in Skyward Sword. And in Skyward Sword, he's revealed to be the incarnation of the hatred of the Demon King, Demise, Satan, carrying his eternal loathing and fury towards the goddesses and her hero, which is the different incarnations of Link. We got Skyward Sword, we got the hero of Wind, we got the hero of the Time, we got the hero of Poop, stuff like that. He doesn't like him, so he's eternally destined to try and throw hands with any Link, no matter what. Well, in some cases, not technically. But you know what? Those aren't canon. He's forced to be able to reincarnate and become reborn every single few years. He's basically immortal, but not in the sense where you can't kill him. Technically, you can kill him, but he'll just come back in a different form, and he'll also he'll never die. I really don't know what else to say about this. Also, fun fact, it's kind of implied that the Gerudo stopped doing the whole first male becomes leader thing after Ganondorf, kind of became Satan, and they realized if another male is born and is Satan, it's kind of kind of don't want that happening again. Our reputation's kind of ruined because the one male who comes from our tribe ended up murdering a bunch of people and becoming a god of hatred and malice. It's funny. So they kind of decided to just... It's implied, but I'm pretty sure it's not canon, but I'm sure it's implied that they kill all of the male Gerudo that come out. Because they don't want another Ganondorf. Sounds very, very brutal, but come on, man. It's pretty reasonable. Anyways, next section. Final section. My thoughts on Ganon. He's great. What else can I say? I really like him as a villain. I like the whole pure evil thing. Sometimes a character doesn't need to be redeemable or super, super nice or super, super good or having some deep, dark motive. He could just be evil because why not? And he does have a motive technically, but his motive is quite literally, I am evil because I am the reincarnation of literal evil. Don't really need a reason all the time, and I feel like Ganondorf pulls it off really well, unlike some other villains and stuff. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ring the bell, play a bell sound effect in the background. We are going to do a bonus round of rating all the Ganon's designs. Now, of course, I am actually winging this. This is not in my script, so let me pull them up. Let's start first with my least favorite design, which is going to be original Ganon, because I don't like original Ganon. He's kind of, he's definitely the fifth. There's other Ganon designs out there, but I'm only gonna rate the worst in my opinion, and then only mention the top 4. So worst one is original Ganon, OG Ganon. I don't like him. Fourth is Ganon. Like, you know how I keep on saying Ganon? There's a difference between Ganon and Ganondorf. I say Ganon as a nickname for Ganondorf, but in reality, when I say Ganon here, I'm talking about the big pig thing. I like it because it's scary, it's spooky, and it also has that feeling of monstrous, dread, evil, bad, mean, bad emotions. Like, it has that feeling. It reminds me of Ganondorf. It conveys what demise is well, and also kind of just looks cool. Number 3, I'm gonna say the Twilight Princess design. I like the Twilight Princess design. It's enjoyable. It's nice. It gives him a nice sort of feel to him, and I just like it. He looks nice. He's so menacing. He's so scary. I just want to give him a nice kiss on the cheek. And finally, number 3. I would like to say number 3 has to be Ocarina of Time. It's just okay. It's good. It's a good design. Very nice. Number 2 is going to be Breath of the Wild, because, like, come on, man. Look at it. Just look at it. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like, seriously, Breath of the Wild Ganon is unbelievably cool. I'm not done with Breath of the Wild, but all of the Ganons I've seen, Water Blight, Fire Blight, I have yet to do Thunder Blight, but I heard it's not fun. But still, all the type of Ganons, they just look so cool. They're such an awesome design. And by far, my favorite Ganon design is Wind Waker Ganon, because I'm sorry, he's just so goofy looking. Like, his head is built. Nah, bro, not his head. His body is built like a reverse Funko Pop. Like, instead of the body being really small, his body is huge and his head is really small. And this goes for every character in Wind Waker, because Wind Waker has some of the best expressions, but Ganondorf's face, man. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Okay, well, thanks for watching the video. This is the end of the video. Goodbye. I have more coming. Sorry that this video was so scripted. I plan on doing a more unscripted video talking about the timeline later. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye, and see you next week on Zelda Month. Bye!